Hello, friends. I decided to come on live to talk a little bit about my new pattern, Paris Je t'aime, which has been released and is now available on my website. I've been getting a lot of questions about the pattern itself, and so I wanted to talk a little bit about the inspiration behind the quilt, how I came upon the different colors and the design. So the first was determining the colors for the pattern. I really wanted to create a pattern that gave you a sense of like walking in Paris in like the end of a summer fall afternoon. So I knew, so there's a little sun there to represent sort of like the evening afternoon time. So that was the first thing I wanted to tackle color-wise. The second was I love the wallpaper in Marie Antoinette's bedroom at Versailles. So I thought, okay, let me pull some colors from Marie Antoinette's wallpaper and see if there's some correlation between the two. And sure enough, there are the oranges and the pinks and the aquas. And so one of the things that I really enjoy doing is using a limited color palette and applying it to something complex. I have found that that's been very successful with students. And so this is only 12 colors, but essentially they're a gradient of 12 colors that come from only 3 colors. So we have the aqua in 3 shades. There are a few shades of red and then a few shades of yellow and orange. So essentially you're only working with 3 colors, but they're gradients that derive from these 3 colors. So I thought, oh, well, that'll be perfect. The next was, once I figured out the colors, I thought, well, what do I want to make? I'm going to be in Paris in November with Florentine at her atelier, which is located in Montmartre, which is why we needed the Sacred Heart, the Sacré-Cœur. And I thought, well, could I design a workshop pattern that is achievable by students for new people that are new to foundation paper piecing and applique, that is achievable but yet visually interesting? And so I sought out to see if I could incorporate as many beautiful landscape or landmarks of Paris as possible. So let me give you a tour of the Paris on our pattern. So the first is Notre Dame, right? As we know, it got burned down. It just opened up because they were able to fix it. One of the challenges I found for myself in designing this pattern was to edit. Like, this is for students, this is for workshops. I can't, if I give too much detail, then it feels too insurmountable or too difficult. So it was always a challenge to like edit. So we have Notre Dame. Then we have, of course, the Eiffel Tower. Then we have the Arc of Triumph, the Arc de Triomphe. Then there is the Basilica in Montmartre, which is called the Sacred Heart. Then there's the Louvre. I mean, when I saw the triangles of the Louvre, for me, it's just, crying to be a quilt. So I thought, well, it would be interesting to have a sort of gradient feel, almost like a tartan feel of the Louvre. So you have all of the colors, the orange, the reds, sort of going from lightest to darkest. So there we have the Louvre. And then we have a café, of course. I wanted to applique like a little table with, and then sort of applique a little, like a coffee mug with like a croissant or something. I might still do it. I don't know. But one of the reasons that, oh, let me finish the tour. So then there's some botanicals, right? Because if you've been to Paris, you will see that there's lots and lots of flower beds everywhere, especially in spring and summer. Glorious flower beds, parks everywhere. So it was just like a little hint to the botanicals of the city. Then there, of course, there are the Parisian rooftops of Paris, which are a classic. And then if you see here, there's this light aqua followed by this darker aqua. That's a sort of hint to the Seine that surrounds the entire city. So this is a little tour of Paris Je t'aime. And of course, because Paris is actually a metropolitan city, it's quite large, I wanted to give a hint of a city cityscape, if you will, or a city outline with this darker pink to sort of give just a sort of shadowing at sunset in the afternoon of the larger city. Now, one of the things that I did in my particular sample quilt was I'm a huge Disneyland fan, like huge. And so for those of you who've been to Paris or have seen Paris, you will see that the Eiffel Tower starts to twinkle once the sun has set. And I thought, well, it would be kind of cute if I appliqued a little Tinkerbell on the top with her little wand touching the tippity top of the Eiffel Tower, almost as though turning on the Eiffel Tower when the sun sets. So what I did was, this is all improvisational. It's not in the pattern, but you're welcome to add whatever elements you want to your own personal pattern. So what I did was, there's a hidden Mickey right here, and I just did a big stitch with metallic thread. So there is a hidden Mickey here, and then I wove like if Tinkerbell was flying around the Eiffel Tower, and then I did a little Tinkerbell there. I don't know if I could actually pull it off and show you in a little bit. But the way I made her was improvisationally. I just cut out the little layers of applique and put them on top of each other. Now, one of the unique things about this particular kit, it's the first time that I've ever done a dual technique pattern. I really wanted the crisp sort of architectural approach of foundation paper piecing with the elegant curves of applique. Because I mean, I could have designed this to be 100% foundation paper piecing, but because this is for students, I didn't want there to be too much unnecessary work to achieve a design element. So in actually joining the elegant curves of applique, it really achieves some of these beautiful curves needed to give the full effect of the city. So the quilt kit is quite robust. It's the first time I've ever done a quilt kit that I want you to have all of the elements that you need, not only to do the foundation paper piecing component, which all of my kits have, but also to do the applique. So with these applique units, you actually have the capability of doing either raw edge applique or edge turned applique. So the kit comes with fusible webbing for raw edge, as well as like a mini kit of edge turned applique. So a silicone mat, a Teflon pressing sheet, a brush, an applique starch liquid mix, applique glue. I mean, you have a whole, I wanted anyone who got the kit to have all the supplies they would need to do both the FPP and the applique components. So that's very exciting to be able to offer that. There's only a limited amount of kits. Mostly for anyone who's interested, for students, and then once those are out, they're kind of out because it's just me, friends. I don't have a team. I wish I did, but I don't. So the kits are now available on my website at Pride Joy Quilting, as well as paper patterns and PDFs. The pattern itself has all of the elements you need to do the foundation paper piecing part, as well as the applique templates, and all of the details in between. Now, I have something coming. It didn't arrive yet, but I'll do a post about it. So the backing for this is actually fabric that I got printed on spoonflower of Marie Antoinette's wallpaper. So the very thing that inspired the palette will be the fabric that's in the backing. Lately, one of the things that I really love doing is, because the front of my quilts tend to be solids, I love having a clever backing, one that's sort of a complementary, of course, in the color palette, but completely different in style. So the backing of this will be the wallpaper in Marie Antoinette's bedroom at Versailles. And then the binding, which is really exciting too, I picked out a binding that is a pale pink and white, but is a map of the Versailles Gardens. And so that's going to be the binding. And so it's complementary in the lighter tones of this pinks and the white, but without distracting too much. So I'm really excited to get that and hopefully show you in the future. Thank you so much if you're still watching. I appreciate it tremendously. I hope you enjoy this pattern as much as I do. So you can join us if if anything, virtually in November, as I will be in Paris, taking this quilt everywhere. So you may not be able to join us in Paris, but at least you can join us in the project and we can check in with each other. Please feel free to use the hashtag Pride and Joy Quilting so that I can follow along and celebrate your creativity. Thank you so much, and till next time. Bye.